Peace, family, peace, family, peace, family, right? So listen, man, first off, like, big gratitude for taking the time out to even view this video. You know what I'm saying? And this message is specifically for, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but yeah, this message is for the divine masculine, okay? And this is not to deter any of the divine feminine from watching the video whatsoever. Like, no, watch this video and share it with another male. You feel me? Like, this message needs to get out, okay? This message needs to get out. So before we get into it, right, you know what I mean? If anybody needs a consultation, a reading, or want to meditate one-on-one, like, just look in my link tree below, book it, and yeah, just contact me and we can get it popping. You feel me? I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So, right, I just gotta get straight into this thing. I gotta get straight into this thing. So the crystals I'm working with, besides the numerous ones on my desk, the ones I'm going to be holding is Dumerite, Bronzite, Prophecy Stone, and a Herkimer Diamond, right? So, yeah, let's get it, right? So listen here, man. Divine masculine. Divine masculine. The protectors of the divine feminine. We've been messing up, man. We've been messing up for a while now, okay? We've been pointing the finger. We've been falling in the victimhood. It's everybody else's fault except for ours. And enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. It's time we take accountability and responsibility for our actions, for our wrongdoings, and to be honest with ourselves. See, it's not that the divine feminine needs us. No, they don't need us at all. We need them. And what's been going on in this world, in this society, is not cool at all. It's nowhere near cool. It will never be cool. And it's just making us push further and further away from our divinity. We've lost touch with ourselves as a whole, as a collective, you know? And since, like, we're the protectors, right? And if we, like, if we're broken, who's going to protect the divine feminine? We just leaving it wide open for the divine feminine, like, to have all this shit coming to her. All because we walking around broken, pointing fingers, not taking accountability, not taking responsibility for the bullshit that's been happening. It's crazy. I just looked at the time, it said 3:33. And it's like, check this, right? We have to identify, like, where this is coming from. Excuse me, I've got my notes right here, you feel me? And it's like, we have to identify where this is coming from. We have to identify, like, what chakras is this rooted in. We have to figure out, how are we going to heal ourselves as a whole? And if you're a male walking in your divine masculine and embodying your divine masculine, you need to get off your ass and start showing other men how to do that as well. Teach, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go be out here and talk to every single dude you come across and shit. But, like, if you feel like you can help somebody whenever you meet them, help that person. If you feel like you can give them a piece of knowledge, help them. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I'm about to say in this video, shit, say the same thing to them. You know what I'm saying? You can take my words exactly. I don't care. You feel me? Just as long as the message is getting across. Because it's like, we looking up to the wrong motherfuckers. We looking up to all these rappers who put down women, but then be wearing woman clothing, painting their fingernails and shit. I don't care what you do. Do what you do. That's your business. You know what I'm saying? You like what you like. You know what I mean? That's your swag, that's your drip, that's your swag, that's your drip. But don't be putting down women and shaming women for doing the same shit when it was their shit in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that. That shit don't make no sense to me. And you know what I mean? This is going to be one of them videos where it's just going to be non-stop vulgar words because like I'm fired up, right? And it's like, so back to, we have to identify like where it even comes from. You feel me? It's like it's like we're taught to not be emotional. We taught that being emotional is being feminine. We taught that being sensitive makes you a punk, makes you look like a bitch. That's not cool. That's not fair. And that's the reason why, like, a lot of us is walking around with fragile ass egos now, because it's like we hold these emotions. We act like these emotions don't bother us. We be acting like these big macho men. Like, oh, nah, nothing bothering me. I ain't worried about nothing. It is what it is. I'm going to just shrug it off. Like, nah, man, you just can't shrug it off. Like, no, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. You feel me? And we have to think, like, why don't they want us to show our emotion? You know what I mean? Like, a man who is in control of his emotions is so powerful. A man who can identify why he feels a certain way is so powerful. We have too many of us men out here who just ignore our emotions, and then we bring that toxic masculinity onto the divine feminine. You know what I mean? It's not the divine feminine who fucked the world up. It's the divine masculine who fucked the world up. Straight like that. 1000%. Because since that we're so broken, we just left them wide open. And then now we see the divine feminine on her shit right now and fixing everything, because we've dropped the ball way too many times. And now it's time for us to stop dropping the ball, right? So we have to look at it and just like the bigger picture of it. But before we even get to that, let's start at this root chakra, right? A lot of us got foundational issues, right? I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now. A lot of us got foundational issues. Our foundation is broken, right? And when you got an unbalanced root chakra, right, it's gonna be pretty difficult to balance that, like all the other chakras after that. If you can't control the base, you're not going to be able to control anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just going to be leaning to the left. You're going to be leaning to the right. You might fall out. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't got a solid foundation. You don't got a solid structure. You know what I mean? And that literally starts with our upbringing and our home life. Okay? So it's like many of us grown up in situations where we had like lack thereof. Maybe it was just one parent in the house. Maybe like you had to step up and be a parent. Maybe like you had to step up and be the man in your household because your father wasn't there. You know? And that also touches into the solar plexus. But I'm going to get there, right? So it's like problems in our foundation can cause problems everything else in our lives. Okay? So let's move up to the sacral chakra, right? Our sacral chakra is about, is our creativity, that's our sexual energy, right? Many men, a lot of men have an imbalanced sacral chakra, right? And that's because of lust. That's because of lust. Like, men are very, very lustful. You know what I'm saying? Can be very, very greedy when it comes to that. And we didn't grow up like learning about like the importance of like harnessing your sexual energy. We didn't learn the importance of plasma energy, or we didn't know that our sexual energy and our creative energy is the same thing. You know what I mean? They're one and the same. We don't grow up knowing those things. You know what I'm saying? In society, all we see is men just talking about fucking bitches and getting money. That's all we be seeing. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the total opposite of what the shit should really be like. Because a man who can control his lust is also very, very powerful. You feel me? A man who can like practice retention and like not need to I guess like release all day or release every day. You know what I'm saying? If a man can like be disciplined on like how often he is releasing, like it just does a whole new, it just does so many benefits to you. Like for one, like you're more focused, you're more confident, your manifestation powers is like working like that. You know what I mean? But it's more like outside, but it's more than that. It's more than just being able to manifest things. You know what I'm saying? You could, like, you actually have more control of your being. If you don't believe me, just go 3 days. And after you go 3 days, go 7. After 7, go 14. After 14, go 21. After 21, then hit your 30. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, just watch how different you feel. Watch how different you feel. Because it's like, we have to realize too that like, it's an energy transfer. You know what I mean? It's an energy transfer. And whenever we just out here just swapping energies with all these people, now we got pieces of that person embedded in us. And then we be wondering why we walking around feeling like 19 fucking people. And it's because, nigga, you got 19 bodies that you got. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it a beam. You know what I mean? You want to be Mr. like, I'm going to put it on. And then, now look, now them demons is putting it on you. Like, this shit ain't cool, yo. This shit ain't cool. I don't laugh, but it's not cool, yo. And it's like, man. So then we look at the solar plexus, right? And this is where like our issues concerning like our father, right? And that's a big thing too. Is like a lot of the divine masculine has not grown up with like a dad or like a father figure. Or like someone to look up to like that. You know what I mean? And we talk about the heart chakra, that's the mother. Okay. Mommy issues, which a lot of us males have. Okay. So it's like, without the foundation, everything is going to fall. Without the foundation, everything is going to fall off, Rick. And even though it's like I broke it down in the Pacific chakras, like, don't get me wrong, like, that's all a part of your foundation as well. But like when we're talking about like our parents, right? And how like our parents' relationships are affecting us, or just how we grown up is just affecting how we are dealing with relationships for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? Like, how can you give love and receive love if you never experienced that? If you never got that, never got the love that you craved for, that you wanted, that you needed as a child from your parents? How does that happen? It don't. Because you don't know what that looks like. You don't know what that looks like. And it's like, unfortunately, in our communities, it's like we see the same pattern over and over again. Like, we got single moms everywhere, lack of a father figure, or dads like in and out the child's life, or grown up seeing like your dad put hands on the goddess that birthed you into the world. You know what I mean? Like, that this shit goes deep. It goes deep. And whenever you don't have that father figure that you can look up to and then that you can trust, it's like, where are you getting your knowledge from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you getting, like, we're not receiving nothing. We pretty much just going through the motions. Like, you know what? I'm not going to be like him. I'm going to just figure out this shit myself, and I'm going to hold it down. I'm my own man, and it is what it is. And that sounds all cool in that moment, but that shit hurts. That shit hurts deep whenever you don't have somebody you can just call, or have somebody like, you know, like, yeah, Pops, like, I got this one shorty, I don't know, but like, I need advice. You don't got that. So then now you just probably just doing what you be seeing on TV because you assume it's like that. Because we be seeing the same different patterns in like TV shows, and like, that's a whole different kind of programming right there. It's like they want us to act like that. And the more we act like that, the more happier they are, type shit. And because now we're not connecting with each other like how we need to be. Like, whatsoever. It's just toxic masculinity like everywhere. And growing up without that father figure or that role model to really like put you on game You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It's really hard. Like, me personally, like, I've had the blessing of having, like, my dad and my stepdad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've learned a whole lot from the both of them. You feel me? And it's like, I was lucky that I had two. You feel me? There's a shit ton of us who have zero. That has zero. And then we wonder why, like, shit is the way it is. And it's just because, like, we grew up without a mentor. You know what I mean? Like, the elder should automatically want to show the young man the way. You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote, the way. Automatically should want to show that young calf, like, all right, nah, this is how we do it. Like, we're protectors. This is how we do it. We don't hit women. We respect women. We uplift women. You know, we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough of that at all. But to move away from the father, right? So those is like issues that many of us divine masculine are dealing like with, just like the father, and it's affecting our solar plexus. And then whenever you have an imbalanced solar plexus, like your solar plexus is about confidence. Whenever that shit's imbalanced, you're on the dark. You're on the whole opposite end of that. You're in like the complete like darker emotion of confidence, which would be arrogance or cockiness. And this is why like men's egos is just out there, because it's like we already naturally have battles with our ego on a daily basis. And whenever you're walking around unhealed and like all this toxicity, it's going to just hyphen that shit even more, right? So then let's move on to moms, right? Our heart chakra. Many of us got, yeah, like, woo, heart chakra, yeah, that thing, you know what I mean? Because it's one thing to like, don't get me wrong, not having a father figure is tough. It's tough. But when the goddess that birthed you into the world, and like whenever y'all don't have that relationship that y'all want, oh, that hurts deep. Because you unfortunately take that out on your next partners, or like whoever is trying to give you love. You naturally gonna have a wall up, because the first goddess you've ever met, your mother, right? The vessel, like the one who sacrificed her body to bring you into Mother Gaia. Like, oh, this shit hurts. And I'm gonna have like story time late, like after I touch on this, because it's just something like I deal with as well. And it's like whenever you don't have that relationship with your mom that you want, you are going to take that out. And it's not going to be on purpose. It's not going to be on purpose. I mean, sometimes it is for some people, but most of the time it's like it's not on purpose. A lot of the times we like don't even like realize we're doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like we have to think like, but why are so like some moms just so hard like on their sons? You know, we have to look at it like this. Many of us look like our daddies type shit. And our dads wasn't the best person to our mom. You know what I mean? So like whenever she sees you, she might see she sees herself, don't get me wrong, but she's also seeing the person who just caused her all this pain. The person who just left her to raise her kid or kids by herself. The person who don't help out with nothing. You know what I mean? Like the person who maybe like put his hands on her. You know what I mean? That's what she's seeing. That's what she's seeing. And that's where we see like the link of the generational curse. You know what I mean? And it's like whenever our moms are like broken and they haven't dealt with their own pain and it comes out on us, that shit hurts, because there's nothing that we did to deserve that. There's nothing that we did to like, well, like for one, no one ever deserves negative energy whatsoever. But like regardless, it's nothing that you did to like even try to somewhat justify getting like that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, some of us heard like, nah, you gonna be a piece of shit just like your daddy. You gonna grow up and be just like your dad, or you ain't shit like your father, or you just like the rest of these other black men out here, or da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? How can you have confidence in yourself as a young man when you're hearing that from your mother? Like, no one can still answer that. No one can answer that shit for me yet. Like, I've been waiting for that answer like my whole life, but no one can answer that. You know what I mean? And it's like, they say that word, like sticks and stones, they can break my bones and words will never hurt me. No, that's some bullshit, because words hurt. And especially when it's coming from someone that you truly love, someone that you truly want to protect, like, it goes deep. And for a man, it's like, there's no one more that, like, we treasure than our mom. You know what I mean? Like, my mom's here and my sister's just right here. Facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to protect my sister straight up. But, like, my mom always comes first. You know what I'm saying? She sacrificed me. I mean, like, she sacrificed herself to bring me into this realm. You know what I mean? So to not have the type of love, the kind of love that I craved for, that I wanted, you know what I mean? Due to like whatever, it hurts. It hurts. But I'm going to go into that like in just a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's like, so due to like these different issues of like our foundation and like our parents and just our childhood, right? As we get into like our adolescence age and then just the young adult age and begin to start dating and shit like that, now we're literally turning into like what we said we would never become, because we're like still walking around with like these unhealed issues and these unhealed traumas. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, we do this without even realizing it. You know what I mean? And for us not being in our divinity, we're leaving like the divine feminine like completely vulnerable, right? And it's like, once again, like, how can you give love if you haven't received love, right? Story time, right? So I'm about to go and just be completely vulnerable right now, and just about me. And yeah, that's just what it is. Like, I wish that me and my mom's relationship was better. You feel me? Like, it's better than it's been like ever before, because I've been attacking my heart chakra and really like working on myself for like a minute now. But due to like me and my mom's relationship, I didn't even realize how toxic I was being in like my past relationships with women. Like, I had no idea. You feel me? Because being toxic necessarily don't have to be like, oh, I'm like, you're straight up like physically cheating or abusive or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be like anything like extreme like that. Like, being toxic is just this beautiful woman on the inside and out is trying to give you this love, and you just can't receive it. You just can't receive it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just got this wall up. You just in your little shell. Like, and that's just literally what I've been going through like time and time again. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, my mom loves me. My mom loves me to death. But from like different things that she was going through, just like her life, and then like after she had like me and my siblings, you know what I mean? It was really hard for her to like show that love, you know what I'm saying, that she wanted. And then after like my brother passed away, you know what I mean? It was even harder for her to show that love, because like she just lost her oldest son. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times, unfortunately, it was like I was getting this, like the short end of the stick. Like, it's being taken out on me. You know what I'm saying? And that shit, like, it bothered me. It bothered the hell out of me. But I would never speak up. I would never say anything about it. I wouldn't even journal about it. I don't even think I picked up a journal back then. You was lucky if I was taking notes in school for real, because fuck all that. But it was like, for me, right, I can't say that any of my past girlfriends were like bad or toxic or anything like that. I can't say that because they weren't. You know what I mean? The divine literally like blessed me in all of my relationships with like beautiful human beings. But since I wasn't working on myself and I'm still walking around with all this dense, heavy energy, I wasn't able to receive the love that they were trying to give me. You know what I mean? And it just kept being the same type loop over and over and over again. Like, yeah, you can buy them all these things. You can, like, do what you need to do. Like you can literally, like, exhibit chivalry, or however you pronounce that shit. You know what I mean? You can literally just be a perfect gentleman and still not be able to receive the love. You feel me? I thought that, you know, like, the more and more, like, I do this, like, that's eventually going to come. And it just didn't happen. Like, it just didn't happen. So then next minute, you know, like, you get frustrated and you start looking at this person all crazy. But whenever you should be looking at yourself all crazy, like, damn, like, why can't I, like, offer my heart to this woman? Why can't I, like, really, like, be there for her the way she needs, like, the way she's there for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll be the nigga up for her. But it's deeper than that. It's more, like, it's way more than that. Like, where's the actual connection? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know it's there, but you just can't feel it because you've numbed yourself to everything. See, when we're dealing with all these different blockages and stuff like that, and with all this pain and stuff, we tend to like just numb ourselves to everything around us that could be an example or that relates to the same thing that caused us pain. So, and that's what I was doing in my situation, right? And it's like, after when I got back home, like whenever I got out the army 4 years ago, I literally, and like me and my last girlfriend broke up, because like I was literally last time since I've been in a relationship type shit. You know what I mean? And like after like me and her broke up, I was like, you know what? Like I really got to take time and heal myself. Like I really got to take time and figure out like, why can I like receive love? You know what I'm saying? Like what's wrong with me? Like what is wrong with me? And it was like, it was so frustrating. It was just so frustrating. And that's how I know it's like I can't be the only male who's ever dealt with this. You know what I'm saying? I've been putting messages out like on my Telegram channel and shit like that. And yeah, and it's like people are resonating with it. So that's why I felt like, okay, nah, we gotta make video, because it's like, if I've been through this, and the Soul Fam on Telegram, like I've been through this, you know what I'm saying, or can understand this, like, nah, like everybody needs to like hear this message type shit. And I had to get to a point to where it was like, you know what? I had to love me for me. It's like I've been wanting to just feel this love from all these outside places, and I just been wanting to expect to just get love just from anywhere. Like, nah, it's going to come at any moment. But nah, you really don't experience love until you start loving yourself. No matter what you've been through. You know what I mean? Because no matter what we've been through, it is always important to love yourself. No matter what. And we tend to like not love ourselves due to like how we think, like how we see like how our life played out. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through this, I've been through that, and like we just using it as a crutch. And it's like, nah, we gotta stop using it as a crutch. Push the crutches off. Like, no, because that's how you fall into victimhood. And like I could easily be like, you know what? Nah, I ain't never gonna get married. Those ain't work out. I can never receive love. I refuse to love myself. but it's not my fault I don't love myself. Like, shut up, cosmic, shut up. You don't make no sense. Like, come on. Like, the things that we've been through, right? For one, they don't defy us. Okay, they was only put in place to push us into the right direction. You know what I mean? And we got to take those lessons. You know what I'm saying? If you grown up with a father you don't want to be like, nah, really mean that shit. And really find out what you got to do and like how you got to heal yourself and heal your lineage so you don't be following these same patterns. And then, like, you know, you got nephews and sons up under you. Yeah, you're going to teach them the same thing. You're going to teach them the same thing. You feel me? Like, facts. Like, me and my dad, like, we real big on, like, breaking generational curses and then, like, identifying them and actually, like, living through this shit. You feel me? And it's like, you have to get to a point where you say, like, enough is enough. And that's where I was at, like, in June 2018, like, enough is enough. So I forced myself to, like, be single, refrain from any sexual activity for a year. You know what I mean? And it's like, I haven't been in a relationship since then. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, damn, bro, you lonely as fuck, bro. Like, no, I ain't lonely. Why? Because I love myself now. I wasn't used to be able to be in a room by myself. I used to, like, literally, like, if I wasn't on punishment as a kid, which was a lot, like, if I wasn't on punishment as a kid, right, like, I couldn't sit in the house. I couldn't sit in the house. I always had to be surrounded by friends. You know what I mean? And then I was also, like, low-key, like, envious of, like, my friends' relationships with their parents. Like, damn, like, I want that. You know what I mean? And it's like, nah, I feel like, now I can see, like, no. The universe put me in those situations to have, like, to see friends that had, like, good parents. And not saying my parents weren't good parents, you know what I mean? But, like, seeing, like, where there was, like, it seemed like there was a lot of love to make it seem like they was getting more love than me or stuff like that, right? Like, just showed me, like, oh, this is how we gotta be. This is how it is. This is how it should be. You know what I mean? Homegirl said in the chat earlier today, she said that, like, we don't own our kids. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we gotta get out this thing of, like, I felt like in my childhood, like, I was like, with my mom, like, she wanted me to be just, like, one kind of way. And it's like, nah, like, I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just me. Like, I can't, like, that's just what it is. Like, I am smart, but I'm not the type to be on some, I'm going to law school, or I want to be a doctor. Like, nah, like, there was two things I wanted to do in high school. I wanted to shoot guns and go to the military, and I wanted to be a fucking rapper. You know what I mean? Like, I played with the idea about being a nurse. You know what I mean? But then I was like, nah, I don't want to do all that. Don't get me wrong. I love taking care of people. I love helping people. But I didn't want to, like, go through the schooling for all that. You know what I mean? But it's like, that's the only two things that I was really concerned about, like, in my adolescence. And it was like, not even, like, having goals of, like, finding a wife and getting married. You know what I mean? Like, of course I wanted to have kids, but, like, marriage wasn't even in the thing. And I had to really ask myself, like, why don't I want to get married? Or why come people ask me, like, what age do you think you're going to get married? And I say, like, 40 or 65. And I'd be dead ass serious. And it's because it's like, in my mind, like, marriage is what ruins relationships, because that's what's been shown in my life. You know what I mean? And it's like, can't use that shit as an excuse. We can't use different things that we've been through as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's how we fall into that victimhood. So then we got to ask ourselves, it's like, well, man, like, all right, Cosmic, you telling us this, you telling us that. Like, well, then how the fuck do we heal then, nigga? How do we heal? I got you. I got you. Do shadow work, man. You do shadow work. You literally attack the parts of you that you don't resonate with no more. The toxic parts of you that you just want to release. If you got to pick up a journal, then pick up a journal. If you got to sit in the mirror for like ever and just stare at yourself, and sit in the mirror and stare at yourself. Write letters to yourself. Apologize to yourself. Apologize to yourself. Apologize to yourself. Because you owe it. You owe it to yourself. Like, and also, don't hesitate to practice, like, semen retention. Nah. Build that plasma up. Build that plasma up. And also, before we close the video out, beforehand, put these crystals down, right? I pulled 3 cards for us, right? And the first one, stars in the sky. Limitless possibilities. So, whenever this came out, I instantly just knew, like, we have to realize that with all this dense energy around us, it's still not enough to hold us down. It's still not enough to hold us down. We gotta reach for the stars. Like, the only limits you put on yourself is literally what you do in your mind. You are not who these people are saying you are. You're not a piece of shit. You are the shit. You know what I'm saying? So get out of that. You can literally manifest whatever the fuck you want. Like, listen. Listen. The gods is the ones who built the planets, the cosmos. Okay? And if you want to fact check me on that, go look it the fuck up, nigga. Like, but, y'all, like, the gods is the ones who built the cosmos. So if, like, we's the ones who structured this shit, we can't. What makes you think we just can't structure these different things in our lives? We can't release what we need to release. Nah. Realize everything is limitless. Next. Dust Devil. Moving out of stagnation, right? I don't know if you can see it, but like it's like his face, and then you see the all the dust, stuff like that. So it's like when I look at this, I instantly think all this dust, all these things like around this being shown, right? This is like all this stuff that's like holding us down in our auric field, right? Like literally, this is all this stuff that's holding us down in our auric field. All these different blockages and different traumas that we're still holding on to because we think that's what tells our story. We think that, you know what? I've been through this. That's my story. Nah, nigga, they just elements of your story. That's all they is. They just elements of your story. Okay? Like, no. And then also, if you look too, it's like you see a glow in the chest area. Like, right there. Right? And you realize, like, we got all this stuff around us. You realize the power of the light inside of you. But in order to get, like, to make that light shine, we have to fight through this dust or dark. We have to fight through it. And the more we disperse it, and the more, like, it just starts going away and start fading away, the brighter that light becomes. Like I always say, it's like, don't look for the light in the tunnel or at the end of the tunnel. Be the light inside the tunnel. Okay? So move out that stagnation, you feel me? Release, release, release. And another one is, of course, lost in space. Lost in space. See, it's like divine masculine as a whole is like we just lost in the stars. We just lost in the sauce. And you know, it's like, yo, we have to start heading in the right direction. We know what not to do. We know what's toxic masculinity. We know what's wrong. And we're still choosing to do these things. You know what I mean? We literally got the world in our hands and we're still choosing to do these things. You know what I'm saying? So work on releasing these traumas so we can start heading to where we need to be headed to. You know what I mean? Start working on yourself. Start healing yourself. Start loving yourself. See, listen, like, it's so easy to say, like, nah, like, I like me. Me's cool. But nah, but do you love yourself? Do you truly love yourself as a man? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, like, I truly, like, really love myself and, like, who I am and the person I'm becoming? Can you? Nah, like, be honest. And if you can, like, if you said yes, I'm proud of you. And if you said no, I'm still proud of you. Because you're being honest with yourself. And if you say yes, show another male the secret formula. Because, like, we be acting like, oh, nah, this is just the way I am. Nah, bro, pick up a journal. Start releasing. Write letters that you'll never send. You know what I mean? And yeah. Oh, sorry. Crystal dropping. It's rain. Y'all know I'm goofy, right? But, nah, like, with all that being said, I would like to say, like, well, actually, nah, just one more thing, right? The more and more, like, we step into our power and we step back into, like, that divine masculine energy that we need to embody, the more and more we're going to have different doors and shit open up for us. The more and more, like, our creativity is going to be sparked. And then we're going to literally fall back into feeling, like, obligated to do what we need to do, because that's exactly how we should be feeling. You know what I mean? We got to stop chilling in the background, going along with these trends that don't make no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop letting society tell us how this shit should be. Because we see what society's doing. Society's trying to, like, put more masculine energy, like, on the feminine and put more feminine energy on the male. Call it what you want. Like, it's literally an agenda. It's literally a whole programming. Like, look up the women's conference in Berlin in 1996. They literally talked about this, like, in that conference in 1996. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Shout out to Dr. Phil Valentine for putting me on. Because, woo! But yeah, with all that being said, family, it's like, please don't take anything I said today, like, lightly. You know, like, it's important. Like, we got to heal ourselves. It's time. It's long overdue. You know what I mean? It's time for us to step back into being the protector. You know what I mean? We've been leaving the divine feminine wide open and exposed for too long. And keep blaming the divine feminine. But, like, it's our fault. You look at the world today, like, women didn't fuck the world up. Men fuck the world up. Straight up and straight like that. It's not women sending troops to war. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, so, like, if this resonated with you or anything, drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're not, of course. And, like, yeah, and please share this video. Please share this video with another with another male or a young man or a boy. You feel me? Like, or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, or however they identify. But all that being said, peace, love, gratitude, family. I hope y'all have a very, very prosperous week.